missed it. Now, refresh your screen now. Keep doing it until it comes up. Hello, we're live. We're live, guys.
Oh, there we are. Hold on.
Hit it, George.
Okay, let's see. Hello, folks. It's the Podsquad with Colleen Roberts, Todd Burrier, Wendy Card, and yours truly, George Oliver. We miss you, Rich, and others. Thank you for joining us for New Bern Now's podcast for May 21st, 2020, episode 142.
And we're connecting you with the community by talking about the people and places in New Bern and beyond. So please join us in the conversation and let us know if you have any questions, comments, or announcements.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Always good to see everybody. And Todd, we haven't seen you in a while, so thanks for agreeing to come back. I mean, obviously you could tolerate us. We were okay because you came back, right?
You guys are awesome. I love you guys.
We have all kinds of really neat guests that are joining us today. Deborah Kania is one of them, and we're going to get to her in a minute. But hello. We like to go around the Zoom room and ask what's going on with everybody. So, Todd, you start because we haven't seen you in a while. We have some catching up to do.
Yeah, well, lots going on for me. So, you know, if I start, I might take the whole hour. So I'm going to be really careful.
We'll mute you. We'll cut you off.
Yeah, hey, so my wife has tolerated me for all this time, which is awesome. I now have a much stronger neck from carrying around all this hair that I don't really know what to do anything about. I've been very blessed. You know, my businesses have been going fine, and we just introduced a new product that helps people with the Corona 10. And you know, good stuff is happening for me. So, you know, I'm helping people as much as I can and then doing whatever I can do.
So have you successfully kept off the Corona 10 or?
Yeah, I haven't really changed my regimen. I just can't go to the YMCA and work out like I normally do.
Wait,
so
what?
Do it here.
What's this Corona 10 thing? What is that?
I'll let you think about what that might mean, George. It could mean a lot of things.
No. For me, the Corona 10 was the first week. I'm well past 19. I wish I was at Corona 10.
Oh, so you took COVID-19 to mean 19.
And then
I can see how you could do that.
And I'm on my way to 25. I mean, I'm accomplishing all my goals.
It's going over my head.
I think it's like the freshman 15, where you like, you in COVID, we're not maybe as active as we need to be, and we're eating a lot of comfort food. And so, yeah, that's right.
That's one way to put it, George. That's a nice way to put it. So anyway, I've been very blessed and very grateful for, for how things have been for us. And that's about how I would leave it.
Well, it's good to see you again and glad you're healthy and doing well. And it's nice to know somebody else is having a little bit of cabin fever, right? Along with the rest of us. So we're glad you're here today. George, what's going on? How's Banjoy?
Oh, Banjoy is great. So I'm continuing to do every other day, put up a little video. I've done, I don't know, 23 or 25 of them or something so far. And I'm fortunate to have a couple of really good books by a guy named Wayne Erbson, who's a banjo teacher and guy. And I've just been working my way through them. And so I will record a few at a time. My kids are very patient with me and helping me with that. I'm eventually going to put together a blooper reel because with 25 posted, there's about 75 horrible attempts. And they usually involve me making some kind of silly face, which Mason loves. So he zooms in on my face when I go like, oh, and start again. So that's been a lot of fun. And then our band of kids run together is about to separate and scatter to the four corners of the earth. And so with Abigail and Addie going to School of the Arts and Kat going back to college. And so we have been recording some of our favorite songs with the kids. We have some friends, a couple of teachers at Epiphany actually that have a small recording studio. And so we've been going in with them, socially distanced, of course, but that's been wonderful. So much fun. And so we're just recording some of our favorite things to be able to kind of have a little time capsule of this time together.
You were on the beach too. You're playing on the beach.
Yeah, so we have a friend that has a place at Indian Beach. And I don't know if you've ever been to Indian Beach, but it's not busy in the busiest of times. So it was the perfect place to go. It's just beyond Emerald Isle, between Emerald Isle and like Final Shores. And it was really nice. We were able to park at our friend's condo and just have fun at the beach. Brought a couple of friends. Everybody stayed like they're supposed to, but the kids were swimming. I mean, the water couldn't have been any warmer than 70 degrees, but they were out there for a couple of hours in the water, boogie boards, really having a good time. I think it's important for people to get out, whether it's to keep off the COVID-10 or more, or just to get that vitamin D sun. I mean, it's real important. And I think people can do that and still follow the guidelines and try to keep their distance as they need to. It's been good for us.
And how's Pam?
Pam is back in the office. So we had everybody working from home for a while, and last Monday brought everybody back. Pam is down the hall. Do you want to go see Pam?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go see Pam.
Uh-oh.
Let's see.
She's not expecting this, I guess.
I was
I
hoping
hope
you could take the
George
clouds with
has
the sun
shared
with
with
you.
her. I hope George shares with her that we talk about her, so she's not, completely surprised.
Where is she? She's not at her desk. This is where Pam works.
Is she
Right there.
hiding under the desk?
She was watching, so she knew we were coming.
Where is she? What? You went to the doctor? Oh, she's not here. All right, we're gonna have to continue the saga next time. But I did find around. Where's
Hi,
Is that Clayton?
There he
Hey,
is.
Clayton.
what's all that dirt on your face?
Yeah, I haven't taken a shower during this whole quarantine. He's coming near me.
Should we do it? We shouldn't do a hug, should we? That would
No.
Do it, Bert. How's everybody doing? Virtual hugs to the
Yeah,
guest.
virtual hug.
There's Todd.
Hey, Todd.
How you doing?
Are
You're
you-
looking good. I
remember
like
that?
it. A little
Yeah.
salty.
Salty. There you go. There you go.
I'm
Well-
glad we can't smell you though if you haven't taken a shower.
Yeah, just George.
We wanted to see Pam because Pam podcast,
Right.
and as luck would have it, she's not here. But we will get to see. This is her space, and Pam, I don't know why, but she still has a Christmas tree up. Yeah,
Okay.
either really early or really late.
Yeah.
I love that attitude.
Well, right before we get to Deborah, it is Memorial Day weekend. I know a lot of people are looking forward to an extra day off. I hope everybody takes some time to honor, salute, and remember all of our military who have given the ultimate sacrifice and service to this country. That's what Memorial Day is all about. We have some rainy weather in the forecast, which we don't need. We need some more uplifting, sunshiny weather to help us get through coronavirus. It's also the start this weekend of Governor Roy Cooper's Phase 2 reopening plan that does let restaurants reopen with about 50% capacity for New Bern. The Board of Aldermen has also amended one of our ordinances to allow for street cafes. We are closing portions of the streets downtown, and this means that restaurants will be able to set up from 5 to 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturday nights so that people can dine outdoors, which we love to do all year round. Many restaurants have sidewalk permits, and so they do have tables outside, but now we're taking things into the streets. So it's kind of a new chapter for all of us that we're really looking forward to. But do continue to practice healthy behaviors, even though this is the second phase and some of those restrictions are being eased a little bit. This phase says that mass gathering limits can be no more than 10 people indoors or 25 people outdoors in most circumstances. This applies to event venues, conference centers, stadiums, sports arenas, amphitheaters, and groups at parks, and even at beaches. So if you're looking forward to maybe shopping at one of your favorite stores, it's still probably best that you call ahead and make sure they're open. They might have some adjusted hours. So make sure you know before you go. Salons can reopen. I know everybody's looking forward to that. Wendy, you were cutting your own hair for a while there.
Yeah, I don't need a haircut for a long time now. It's still growing back, so.
All right, well, we are going to introduce Deborah now. If you want to unmute yourself. Deborah has her finger certainly on the pulse of small business in New Bern and in the surrounding area. She works at Craven Community College in the Small Business Center, and I'm sure she's a wealth of information of what businesses are dealing with in the midst of coronavirus. So we haven't seen you in a long time. How are you?
You know, I'm doing good. Been a little busy, busier. You know, it's so if anybody's not familiar with the Small Business Center, it's taxpayer funded. So thank you very much, with the goal to increase the viability of small business in our community and across the state. There's 58 small business centers, one at each of the community colleges. And how we increase that viability is through training, as well as counseling, and then resources, connecting resources. Like right now, we connect a lot with the SBA. So that would be a resource partner that people might be familiar with. We've been doing a lot of response to the COVID crisis. Our counseling has doubled. And so keep in mind, the Small Business Center, there's me and a part-time assistant. And I've recently roped in a couple of retired business people to do some confidential guest counseling for me. So it's been a strain. We have put on lots of webinars. We hadn't really been doing those before, but now we have, and a lot of it to do with helping people through the process of, you know, keeping their business in business and being prepared for the opening, you know, carefully. The good news is that part of the CARES funding came through to the community college system, and luckily the Small Business Center was a beneficiary. So we are receiving some funds, and it'll probably quadruple our counseling capacity for the next 6 months. So, and how we'll do that is we will have paid counselors, lawyers. I see one in the room. Any, you know, any small business that needs legal assistance, accountants, marketing consultants, general business counselors, loan prep, analysts. So I've already started to reach out to a lot of folks, and we'll be reaching out more. That starts in June 1st. So it'll just allow us to really be arm in arm with the businesses over the long term.
What has been, you know, other than staying open or finding ways to stay open, what have been some of the most popular concerns for businesses? I hear a lot of people talking about how it forced them to change their business. You know, if they didn't do delivery, let's say, how to stay on their feet by implementing new delivery services and things like that.
Yeah, that's the beauty of small business and its agility, and the source of innovation is, you know, obviously this has been very painful, but at the same time, it allowed business owners to rethink their business model. Maybe they were in that, you know, rut, if you will, of just kind of doing the business as they always have. And it gave them an opportunity to rethink their business and innovate. So, you know, curbside delivery, e-commerce, increase their e-commerce footprint where they hadn't been paying a lot of attention to that, gave them some time to do that. You know, one of the biggest concerns if they had employees is, will they come back? You know, and obviously being careful. The toughest part has gotten a little better, but was that even though, if we all know in our minds that, you know, the government cannot turn on a dime, but you have to be impressed by how quickly they responded, even though it took a while for each business owner. A lot of them were this close, and some of them, you know, maybe beyond that, but we'll see what we can do to help them.
I'm sure it derailed any plans for like new businesses wanting to open. Like I heard of a business owner who was like, yes, I'm putting off that grand opening for, you know, a couple months, if not more.
Yeah, it is true. Some folks have said, you know, let's slow this down a little bit. But interestingly, I am getting requests for people who want counseling to start a business. And I love it, even though they see what's around them. But that's small business owners. I mean, I was a small business owner for almost 10 years before moving to New Bern. And I started my small business before the recession, and it was still there after the recession. So it's just about the small business owner being very optimistic and driven and passionate and just undeterred about whatever obstacle comes their way. And this is a pretty large obstacle, even bigger than Florence. And I know we all know how that was.
And
So you're
few-
still, go ahead, George.
a few small businesses that were maybe about to open when this started are now about to open, like Tap That, which was the city building there. I think they're opening tomorrow, right?
That's
and
awesome.
I think they were close to opening before, and right across the street from that is another, I believe, microbrew type business that they're working on. And so I think we should expect to see new businesses that have kind of been on hold, waiting to go, really jump into this, which would be great.
Yep.
So you're open. How can people contact you for resources, and what can you help them with?
So we're open from the state. We've been open the whole time, not our building per se, in our office. We've sort of gone mobile like everybody else. So if they go to cravencc.edu/SBC, as in the Small Business Center, they will get the contact information there. And we will be right back with you. Especially, of course, we're prioritizing people who may need some urgent crisis assistance, and then just working through that list as quickly as we can.
Anything else you want small businesses to know?
You know what? I had a small business owner email me and say, has anybody told you lately that you rock? And I'm like, well, that's nice to hear. But my response to this was, it's only because of the way these small business owners are that I want to rock. I just, for Christina and I and our partners and everybody, it's an amazing network, and just tap into it. A lot of people don't know about it. I mean, I see a couple folks who've already been involved with it before here. Hi, Marianne, of course, Todd. But, we're here for you. So bring it on.
Hey, Colleen.
Deborah, I know that Clayton and I have participated in the past, and if you need anything else like that, just let us know. We're happy to help. If you want us to do a presentation or anything, or just talk to people. Most of this represents small businesses in East North Carolina, so we deal with a lot of the same kind of things you're seeing. So we're happy to help if we can.
Okay, you begin a phone call.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
Before you go, Deborah, I just want to give Deborah a shout out, because it's not typical to be able to find someone of Deborah's talent level in her position. Sorry, Deborah, I'm just saying it like it is, because you won't. And she is a top flight talent who knows every scope from small business to bigger business. I mean, it's like having access to a significant consultant that you would spend a lot of money for outside of this venue. And the community is very fortunate to have her, just because she wants to be here. So Deborah, hats off to you, my friend.
Oh, thanks, Todd. Appreciate it.
Wait, I want to read the comments on social media in case anyone is asking you anything specifically. Okay. Let's see. Ted Peterson, plus the rain to keep us inside. Okay, sorry, there's been a delay since the beginning, but when are they opening up Middle Street with outdoor seating and dining? I'm guessing Colleen's going to cover that in a little bit.
We talked about that. It starts Fridays and Saturday nights. It starts tomorrow night. So tomorrow's Friday at 5 o'clock, 5 to 11 p.m.
Okay. Well, Deborah, thank you for everything you do. You rock. You really do.
Thanks, Wendy.
Yes, she does. And thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Oh, I'm glad I'm finally here. I'm really happy to be here.
Good to see you, Deborah.
Good to
Bye,
see you,
Deborah.
man.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
good weekend.
You too.
I also got a question. Are dogs allowed on Indian Beach, George?
I don't know. We did not bring our dogs, and I didn't see them. But I don't know if that means they aren't allowed. It might just mean that they just weren't even there. I don't know. I also didn't see any horses, so I don't know, or cats.
Cats.
Where's Anna?
So Ann LeRay is with us today too. Hey, Ann.
Hey, Colleen. Hey, George. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Todd. It's good to see everyone.
You can tell that Marianne has all the tools for staying beautiful during coronavirus.
Yes. Yes. You know, Vidal Sassoon says, if you don't look good, you don't feel good. So I took that to heart.
But one of the things I love about you is like you are willing to show like the before, during, and after. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you'll be like, I'm getting ready to try this thing. Let me show it to you, blah, blah, blah. And I love that. It's like the honest picture of how stuff really works or doesn't work.
Truth. Yes. It's
So
good to be with y'all.
how have you been during coronavirus?
Great. We have had a beautiful place to ride out the pandemic here on the family farm in Pollocksville. It was the place that I couldn't wait to get away from to go gather with people growing up as a teenager, but it is definitely a wonderful place to ride something out like this. So, you know, we've been gardening like everybody else and getting their yards pretty and working hard and visiting my parents next door. And we have a brand new B&B here on the farm. So we've had a few folks that have ventured out, and with the help of Cleaning by Kate and her COVID certification, she has made us feel comfortable at hosting people who need to get away.
And
Yeah.
the filling station. You're always busy with the filling station.
Yes. I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to be able to be flexible enough to get out there and work there at the filling station. Of course, during this unprecedented time, unemployment figures going up. We're seeing different faces at the filling station we've ever seen before, having very different conversations that we've had before. And with the leadership of my dear friend, Theresa Lee is our interim director. She and I are partnering together. She does what she does, I do what I do, and it is taking it day by day. We're serving about 110 households a week. We're open Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we are available for emergency food needs. And we have been very, very fortunate to be working on a big goal for the past couple of years since we opened to get a truck. And we finally were able to pick up a brand new truck from Brock Motor Company, the only Ford dealership here in the county. And so now we're able to be more flexible and go pick up food from wherever people need us to pick it up. And then we've got the great partnership with the food bank that delivers on Tuesday, and they are a fabulous partner. So we're able to find those needs and fill them. And if somebody can't get out, they're affected by the virus, then they make a phone call and we get it delivered to their front porch.
Congratulations on the vehicle. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it gives us a lot of flexibility. Mm-hmm.
What kind of needs do you have at the filling station, and how can we help? Are you able to keep up with sufficient food supply for the families?
We have a brand new partnership with Aldi. We are delighted to say they have been a wonderful partner. We had set up a situation with Sam's, but they're a little bit big for us to be able to get flats of things. And so we were not being able to get things as quick as we needed. So Theresa worked on a partnership with Aldi that we're very excited about. They are making it very, very simple for us to go and pick things up. Golden Corral has also, they are putting together protein boxes for us to go pick up as well. And of course I mentioned food bank, but needs peanut butter, jelly, cereal, breakfast bars. We're putting together children's bags. I think that is a big need right now, or for the kids. So we gave out 53 children's bags this past week. They feel special. They're going through so much emotionally right now, and we want to make them feel special. So the little tiny cereal sealed cereals, and then we put those little packages together. We're keeping our volunteers to a minimum. obviously we cannot have too many people at the filling station. But everybody that's there is they have a mask on, they have gloves on, social distancing, everything's posted. When people come up, they keep their windows up. There's signs that say, do not get out of your car, pop your trunk. And we have volunteers that are putting things in the trunk. So we're able to quickly, safely, and efficiently are able to serve that many people.
So we just stop by and drop off if we have some of that peanut butter and cereal.
Tuesday and Thursday from 9 until 12 are main drop-off times. If you would like any organization that wants to make a collection, we will be happy to take that truck and go pick it up. We've got 2 volunteers that, even though I'm able to drive the truck, I don't primarily drive it, but we'll go pick it up. So if you want to deliver or drop off, we have a Facebook page. Visit that often. We also have a website. I don't know if you want me to verbally say it or share it with Wendy later, but that's the best way to get in touch with us.
Sure. What is the website real quick?
fillingstation1075.com.
Fantastic.
And you can donate safely and efficiently online there. You can find out all the weekly updates we are posting there. And then Facebook is at F as in Frank, S as in Sam, 1075. I also want to say that right before all this started, we started a community garden. And many of you may have seen this in the newspaper, but we had a surprise magical heavenly gift from the Life Plus Foundation. So Todd Burrier and Melanie Burrier, they have partnered with us and fully funded the community garden. And, you know, the COVID has really helped us to see that we need to be growing food in our backyard. And that's what the priorities are of Life Plus Foundation, is water projects and community gardens. And so it is a joy to be able to partner with the caliber of company like Life Plus. Thanks so much, Todd.
Well, it was really Melanie. I just carry her handbag. It was her, you know.
Well, we appreciate you all so very much. And yeah, we've got some things growing and we've got a big plan there, and we're looking forward to showcasing that and have everybody come out and look at it. So
cool. So yeah, cool.
It's all in process.
Before we move on, before we move on to our surprise guest, I was just,
it's not a surprise anymore.
Well, I know that.
Hey, hi, Marianne. I didn't want to interrupt you guys.
It's good to see you.
I know.
Good to see you too.
I know the filling station has a lot of success, but I can't move on from talking to you without asking how Mary Kay is doing.
It's fabulous.
Looking pretty.
Just fabulous. You know, somebody once told me when I joined Mary Kay 22 years ago that there's 3 things that are not affected by the economy. It's tobacco, alcohol, and cosmetics. People want to look good and they want to feel good. And I have experienced it the past 2 months. So yeah, we are doing virtual beauty parties, and people are calling me every day and needing that small luxury item to feel good, just if it's a lipstick or a lip gloss. And it's also been really a blessing to be with the company. We were really concerned that we were going to have to close. We have 5 distribution centers in the United States. 3 of them shut down, and we were wondering if we were going to be able to stay open. But the FDA came to Mary Kay because we had just built a new manufacturing facility in Denton County, which is in Texas, and asked us if we could make hand sanitizer for the front line. Because of our level of safety standard, they wanted Mary Kay to do it. And so that's the only reason that they allowed us to stay open. Our color products, we're not able to get as much color right now. They're just focusing on the skincare, keeping the hands moisturized. And so yes, we're excited to be able to meet those needs on the front line. And one other thing you may have seen on the Jimmy Kimmel show, there were 2 nurses in New York that were awarded a $10,000 check from Mary Kay for their service on the front lines. And I always like to share good news. You know, it's important to share good news.
Well,
That's
George
awesome.
and Todd, you can wake up now. We're done talking about lipstick and makeup.
Hey,
Oh no, George, I have something for you. I want to see you on the street. Remind me, I've got a tube of something I'm going to give you.
Will it cover all this up? It was.
Oh no, it'll just enhance it for the world, especially when you're
Ooh.
playing that banjo.
Do anything for all this gray.
Joy.
I've been gray. Yeah.
Well,
I've
Mary,
enjoyed watching your banjo in the morning. So thank you so much for that gift to the world. Is your banjo playing?
You're welcome. I'm having fun with it. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
well, Marianne, you look great, and I'm glad you're keeping busy with the filling station. And thanks so much for everything Mary Kay is doing to keep us all healthy and hands sanitized and all that good stuff. So, and
You're
thanks for
very
coming on
welcome.
the thanks for coming on the podcast today. It's great to see your face.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Marianne.
No, Jeremy.
Yay.
Yeah,
say hi
thank
to
you
Jeremy.
Y'all have a great day.
Have a great day.
Well, she's not she's not a surprise anymore because she's been hanging out so patiently the last few minutes. But Wendy, I just want to let you know that, you know, your ratings just like quadrupled because everybody just saw the Anna Bulszewicz on the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah, the superstar is here. Woohoo!
oh my goodness. I'm so good. How are you guys? It's so good to hear you guys talk and to just listen about the community. What's going on?
It's good. It's good to see you. It's like, I am so lucky. Like, you vanished from our mornings and now you're back. You just need to come back.
I know, I do. I miss you guys so much. I don't know what it is about. This will be my 3rd year of teaching. And I don't know, it's in the last couple of months, I have just been thinking about how great my life was down in North Carolina and all the friends that really turned into family. And I have a wonderful life here and I love what I do. And I actually have a morning routine now. But there was something about the magic of growing up in my 20s in North Carolina and all of the people that made my life and made me who I am now, that it seems to just all like it's bubbling up or I'm remembering all kinds of things. So I'm really happy to join, especially now because you all are super fresh in my mind, even though it's been a few years.
So catch us up on you. You are teaching at your alma mater still, right?
Yeah. So I'm so lucky. When I was looking to change careers a couple of years ago, I was working to get into, and this was stuff I couldn't say on the air back then, right? Because I still had a job and a contract and everything. But I knew as my contract was ending in March of 2017 that I was just tired of waking up early.
Amen, lady.
You know, and that was the foundation of why I think I decided I need a change. Something outside of work needs to happen in my life, and I need to see what that is. So I actually tried to get jobs in marketing and communication and advertising because I have a journalism and mass communication undergrad degree. And I couldn't get anything for like 6 months. I was going on interviews and, you know, I'm so used to all the love and the positivity and the welcoming spirit of New Bern and the Eastern North Carolina region that it was an ego blow and it was very humbling. And so it was a huge life lesson because I think on month 6, I was like, what was I thinking? I can't get another job, blah, blah, blah. I need to stay here. And the professor who taught me at St. Bonaventure, his name is Paul Wieland, he had known I was looking for a job, but he called and he said, I want you to be quiet and I want you to listen, which you guys know me, I talk a lot. So I said, oh my God, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? He goes, yeah, be quiet. He said, I'm retiring and I want you to take over. And so it was like one of those magical things where, I mean, what does that happen? A couple of times in someone's life where you get something like that. And I moved back to a ski village, which is 30 minutes outside of St. Bonaventure.
Ellicottville?
Ellicottville, yeah.
Yay!
Right outside of Buffalo, which is where Wendy's from. And I work with the people that shaped me as a journalist. So I'm in this environment where I'm teaching, but I'm still learning from them and I'm being supported at all sides. And that type of lifestyle for me, I think I did an interview for the university for some sort of campaign we had. And think about this, and I know I'm going on a lot here, but
We like it.
Thank you, Colleen. I spent 8 years speaking to a lens every day. And I did the job because I love people and I love the community and the work of a journalist. But after all that time and waking up early, I was speaking to a lens. And so now I get to see my audience every day and the customer or whatever you want to call it, which is the student. And I place high value on that. And so now, it's just I don't have to do the news anchoring, do the reporting and editing and all of this, but I get to teach it and then watch people succeed at it. And so it's great. It's been wonderful. And I've had a lot of other opportunity come into play because of that.
And
So
you're
what's your-
molding them. You're molding their minds, and you're awesome. Yay, that's awesome.
So what's your schedule like now? You're not getting up? You mean you're not getting up anymore at like 1:30 in the morning?
Not unless I need a glass of water or something like that. Like, no, I'm not getting up, or unless I'm going to bed at 1:30.
She's been skiing, right? Have you been skiing?
Yeah, I took on skiing this past winter, and I'm on the Blues for those who are familiar with snow skiing. So that's been fun. The first winter, though, I did feel like Jack from The Shining. So that was tough. But I think it was like May 2nd. I called my mom and I was like, it's not normal out there.
Well, Anna, you might appreciate this. Do you know where that is?
Is that the lake? Is that in Buffalo?
That's in Allegheny.
Is it? Is it the state park?
That's Quaker Lake in Allegheny. Yeah, state park.
Wow. Okay. I've been spending a lot of time there rollerblading.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
that's so nice that you have a piece of home behind you. I'm about 20 minutes from there, Wendy.
That's awesome.
To answer your question though, Colleen, my schedule, well, obviously things got weird because it's quarantine. But classes on the ground, I do work 5 days a week, but my classes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they start at 9 a.m. and I'm done teaching by 1:30. And on Tuesday, Thursdays, I teach from 10 to 11:15. So, and then I'm on summer vacation right now, and I have 6 weeks off in the winter. So I got my time back too. Because in the news business, Colleen, we barely get any time off. So yeah. So
That
it's
ain't
like,
happening.
yeah, and it's like, it really is like Christmas. And so one of the opportunities I've been afforded is that I created a study abroad program, and I teach in Italy in the summer. So obviously this summer, no, but that's been eye-opening and incredible. So
So you're going to be entertaining us with some Italian here in a minute, right?
yeah, oh yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Well, you look great.
Thank you. This is my quarantine uniform. I just put a headband on, and I'm back in grad school too. So today I am studying storytelling with data. So yeah, I have to get
Send
out.
me a copy of that.
It's actually a good book for a textbook. It's actually a really good book. So I'm trying to get a master's in marketing right now and knock that out.
You go, girl. You're busy.
Yay.
I am. I have to tell you guys, I plan to come back there in August.
Okay.
Yeah, even if it's just a road trip and it's like staying somewhere and then social distancing wherever we're at in the world. I need to come back because it's just a part of me.
Well, you're a part of us too, I
You.
mean, it's great seeing you, Anna. It's just,
Thank you.
yeah.
And when you come back, you have to tell us, because you can come visit on the podcast, like in real life, and we can have a safe distance social hour or something.
I would love that. Hopefully I mean, what do you guys think about all this? And I don't mean to take up the time and ruin the flow of the podcast, but how is everything there? I get the reports from the news outlets just to keep up, but what is happening over there? Tell me about the beaches, or I know the weather's great, but are people outside? Are they practicing safe social distancing?
Both.
What'd you say, Wendy?
Both.
We're actually
we're
actually in like 5 days of rain. We've gotten like 4 inches of rain, like an inch a day, and so we're looking forward to some sunshine, but there isn't going to be much of it this Memorial Day weekend. But the governor just transitioned us, actually begins tomorrow, into phase 2 of the state's reopening plan. And so restaurants get to reopen at 50% capacity. There's still some restrictions on mass gatherings, but we were just joking about how, hair salons and barbers can reopen. So I know everybody's excited about that, but some places some counties had their beaches closed. Some of the resort towns were closed to non-resident property owners. Some of that in Dare County, some in Carteret County and Beaufort. So, people tended to get pretty angry about that they couldn't come check on their homes. There were no vacation rentals for a while, but, I think we're similar to a lot of other communities. It's very uncharted territory. We're all trying to find our way. And, I'm excited things are reopening, but caution people that we still need to be really safe about it, because we don't want things to get even worse than they already are with coronavirus. So but I think we're all stir crazy with cabin fever, and George was talking about how forget the COVID-10, he has put on like the COVID-19 pounds, and he's working on 25.
Oh my gosh. I was just talking to one of my best friends this morning, and he goes, yeah, one of my biggest dilemmas every day is bread for breakfast, bread for dinner, bread for lunch. I keep eating bread, and I'm like, stop doing it.
Well, I have a tip for you. You ready?
Yeah. I'll always take it.
Okay, actually, I'm going to do a speaker view here. You see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's backwards. Okay.
3 circles of living.
Good.
It's not backwards to us.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not good. It's Todd's book. And I have been practicing, trying to do my best. So I have an actual routine. I've been doing New Bern now for 11 years now. And actually I have every morning, I don't work out like crazy or anything like that, but I'm kind of doing like yoga or different things and just moving a lot more than I have. And there's a lot more to the book, but Todd, it's awesome. 3 circles. You got to get it. So
Wendy,
Giving you a
what-
big social
what-
distance smooch.
what's that on the? Is that a? What was that on the cover? Was that like a Danish? Looks delicious.
I love bread. Yeah. So we can find that book. I saw that was in the agenda for today. There's information on where to buy that posted.
Yeah.
Todd, it's on Amazon, right? That's where I got mine, I think.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Okay. Yeah, anything I can get about living these days.
Awesome.
I want to read it.
Don't be too hard on it. You're a journalist now, all right? I'm not a journalist. I'm just a guy, all right? So.
Well, also, Todd he does health supplements too. So, I mean,
Ooh.
he's all about healthy living. If you watch his videos, you go fishing and paddleboarding, and he's very inspiring. So, something we need right now.
Yeah, definitely, especially when everybody's outside. Okay, so really quickly, the one challenge we're having here, Colleen, you mentioned the rentals and things like that in different parts of North Carolina. So I live in this small resort town. Like I mentioned, it's a ski village. And then in the summer, people golf. people from New York City were coming here.
Ooh.
And yeah, and I'm about 6 hours away. I'm not a hop and a skip. And so the mayor got wind of it and basically was like, no, nobody's allowed. So in this county right now, we have, I think, roughly 50 cases.
Wow.
But that's because we don't have the testing. So,
Yeah.
you know, so we're trying to, and my students have done 1.5 million stories on that scenario and all the math involved there, but I don't know. So the whole state is just funky, but we are in phase 1. So that's good here in this region.
Mm-hmm. And you're in a tiny area, rural community, especially during this time of year. So,
yeah.
So what does phase 1 mean for you guys?
No, it's a little more construction. It's curbside retail pickup beyond a restaurant service or an essential business. And it's pretty minimal. You know, and I'm sure you guys have had this debate, but it's like, I want to go back to a restaurant, but are we really going to be able to go and, you know, and feel safe and normal? And I'm so social. It's like, it's just kind of changed my personality a little bit. This whole thing, you know? And then it's the what if and what happens afterwards. I'm just so confused. So what are you going to do?
Really makes you think about, you know, prior to COVID, when we were all out and about doing our thing, it really makes you think about how much you're exposed to when you're out, whether it's COVID or a cold or, you know, whatever, the flu, you know, just, it starts to make you think a lot more about health, you know, disinfection, you know, safety. So what you can easily pick up in your daily life just by being exposed to other people or surfaces that everybody touches, or, you know, restaurants where a lot of people are coming and going and, you know, eating with their hands and all that kind of stuff. It just makes you think.
You know, I used to, oh,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
You know, I used to make fun of Howie Mandel. It's not funny. I mean, he has a serious condition, right? But, and I always used to think too, like, say you're in New York City and you touch a handle in around one of the subway systems or whatever, you know, I was always like, oh, who cares? You know, I'll be fine. I need immunity. I mean, I think I might have said that just to make myself feel better here and there. But now it's like, what's the new normal with that? I mean, really, I don't want to wear gloves every time I go to New York City. I love it there. But that's the, you know, like, what's going to happen sort of a thing. I'm sorry, George.
The truth is you still do need immunity, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And these kind of things have been around since humans have been around, and we've adjusted to these things. If anything, we're probably taking different and more precautions than we ever have.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Disney World with my son in March. We were there. We left Sunday, which was the day they closed the park. And
ooh, yeah.
I know. It seemed like the world changed from when we got on the plane in New Bern on Wednesday to when we drove back from Florida on Sunday. And I know that for the first time ever, I carried hand sanitizer in my pocket, and so did my son. And we were aware, and, you know, just kind of, even though it wasn't as full blown as it is right now here, or didn't seem to be, we took precautions we've never had before. And my thought on it, I'm less likely to get sick on this trip than any trip I've ever taken. Like, we go to New York a lot, those sorts of things. And so there's really, I don't know. I think there's got to be a balance between knowing that there is a risk and then adjusting your life to live in a world that has that risk, like we do with everything. The reason why you wear a helmet on your bike, the reason why you wear a seatbelt in your car, the reason why you get a flu shot if you do that, the reason why you don't engage in other types of risky activities. And each person makes that decision. And I know it's tricky and different because this is so virulent and contagious, but we are uniquely suited as a society, I think, to deal with this better than we have ever been at any time. The things that we need are, for the most part, readily available. And we're able to do things like this, where you can do, technology allows us to keep doing things. And so I represent a lot of small businesses in East North Carolina, and I'm worried about, if we can't get that back on track a little bit, what it's really like, what the long-term effects truly are with the economy and with people. So we've got to, I don't think there's a way to be perfectly safe. But, you know, masks work or don't work. There's all kinds of things about that if they're not N95. But it feels like we've got to kind of make sure the pendulum doesn't swing so far to one side that nobody can leave their house or
Right.
feel or hug a friend. Or, I mean, you know, those things, and you talk about it kind of changing your personality. I think we're all kind of feeling that, you know, as an extrovert, you feed off the energy of other people and interactions. And I don't think it's, you know, long-term it's not sustainable for most of us to keep doing this, you know.
I just have a comment to that, and I'm not going on a rant. Don't get scared.
Oh,
But,
I don't need to either. I know.
I think the biggest problem that we have as a society is false information out there on specifically social media and other things. So I think it's important that we really, you know, check the information that we're receiving and making sure, you know, that we're all kind of working together. I mean, we're New Bern strong, and if we can overcome, you know, the hurricane, we can come together and, you know, work together instead of judging others, or, you know, that's, I believe we have an awesome community, and if anyone can do it, we can do it. And Anna can too.
Well, no, I agree with that. That was one of my favorite parts about New Bern, was how and you really realize that after you leave. You know that while you're there, but that's one of the things about New Bern, and even seeing your faces today, it feels like home. And what I'm doing, I'm researching right now to be able to launch a consulting firm. And this isn't a plug for that because it's nowhere near, probably like a year away. But basically, with technology, et cetera, the right side of our brains are either diminishing, or in the younger generations, they aren't completely growing. And what's happening is people aren't able to make eye contact, shake hands confidently. And businesses, corporations, especially with entry-level college students, are finding they just want people that are coming in to have good relationship building, good trust building skills, which, Colleen, that was our bread and butter in journalism. And so I very much so teach those things for about the first year before we get into storytelling and content creation, et cetera, because if you don't have the basic people abilities, and what in the hell is this going to do? Can I say hell?
Yeah.
What in the hell is this going to do to us if we don't have something to go back to and remember? I want young kids to know what things were like before that are being born right now, or whatever. You know, what kind of market impacts are those going to have down the line?
And I've heard of that too, as passing the lunch test. You know, can you have a conversation and interact with people and give and take? And, you know, those skills are unfortunately not as strong as they used to be.
Yeah. Emotional intelligence. And I am hopefully going to work with a corporation around here and start to see where the product could be, how it looks, the consulting. But Colleen and Wendy know this especially. Like, I loved people. I wasn't the smartest person in the room. I wasn't always, you know, the most timely on time or whatever, but I loved people and I loved talking. And I think that's what made a part of my career, you know, what I would call gratifying, successful, whatever. And that's the part I want to see that happens after this, because we need each other to survive. It's a fact. Community.
It is a fact. You know, when I was in the Navy, you know, being on a ship, we're living so tight, you know, with other people, and I didn't know anyone's political views or anything, but we knew we depended on each other no matter what the situation. If somebody was going to get in trouble for doing something silly, you know, we had their back. And, you know, it's about community and learning from each other. You know, say somebody has one point of view and, you know, I have the opposite. At least we agree to disagree versus, you know, becoming angry and losing our minds. It's not healthy.
Right.
So.
And I'd be very interested to hear what you're doing. That's one of the first things I teach when I teach leadership in corporations is you're hiring people who are coming in and teaching them the skill of the job, but they don't have interpersonal skills and they don't have personal productivity skills. They can't possibly perform at a high level because they don't have the foundation. And
Right.
so it's the last 25 years when you could communicate through words on a phone as opposed to a real conversation have not helped anything.
Right.
But it's just even prior to that, I mean, you're in education, you can go all through high school. We have wonderful systems, but that's not taught. Nobody learns how to listen. Nobody learns how to utilize their time properly or prioritize or plan or none of this stuff that makes you an effective human, which is just very interesting.
Yeah, it is. And Colleen would probably agree with me on this. I didn't realize it until about a year ago. If broadcast journalism in general, having to complete a story in 1:50, packed with value, packed with relevance and content, and then, being able to present it effectively and bust through the lens.
Mm-hmm.
If you can work to do those things now in the corporate world and you can accomplish it, especially on Zoom, that's what we need. And it's sad because it doesn't happen like it used to. But I feel like if every young professional had those skills, they would be top notch. And like you said, be able to critically think or work their way out of trouble without having to ring the alarm every 5 minutes.
Yeah, even confidence. I mean, people aren't confident because they're not competent. I mean, those two things are partners.
Right.
And it's pretty simple. This isn't rocket science. It's just basic stuff,
I almost wish everybody had to take a broadcast journalism class, as part of like their core requirements in high school or college, because you're right. Like it's not that conversationalism and competence and competence, that kind of stuff is what these particular students, what we were building, even, whether we knew it or not, taking some of those classes. And so sometimes I wish it was part of the curriculum when we were growing up. So.
Well, it's funny, like in keeping, your message concise too. That's huge in the business world, right? So I teach a business writing class, and then I have some business writers that are just taking my courses as electives because they want to learn how to present in the boardroom. And it's like, because the business students are analytical, they're left brain. And so I'm finding that's a whole other thing because I created the broadcast major when I came back and it's successful so far. So
Anna, is your school going to open for in-person classes in the fall?
So did you guys just, that we say we are, did you see the alert though about NC State?
Yeah, I just saw it on WCTV.
No. Yeah, UNC and NC State. I hope we're following things like that, but again, New York is funky right now because of the city. A lot of our students come from the city or New England to go to school at Bonaventure. So we have elderly faculty or sophisticated folks of a sophisticated age. That's what they prefer, or seasoned. I've had that argument with them a few times.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, they remind me. They're like, we prefer seasoned, sophisticated. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry. So, but yeah, I love this conversation. I could go on and on and on, and I feel like I kind of hogged your time here.
No, Anna, you totally made my day.
Vice versa.
Yeah, so you'll have to join us again, definitely.
I would love to. I have summer vacation.
Yeah, there you go. Woohoo! Vacation, what's that?
Always great to see you, Anna. So we might be calling you on Zoom again soon.
Please. I hope so.
Yeah.
Thanks for my social contact of the day.
Yeah, much needed. We'll catch up soon. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah.
George, donuts for dinner. Yeah.
They're not just for dinner anymore. That's right.
Yeah. Todd, good to meet you. Hopefully we'll be in touch.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Bye.
Bye, Anna.
Wendy,
Have a great
you.
day.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
I think we're almost at our time for the podcast, but I know everybody is thinking about Memorial Day, so I wanted to certainly let you know about the Craven County Veterans Council in coordination with our Craven County commissioners. They're actually doing a private it's a Memorial Day wreath laying ceremony at the front of the Craven County Courthouse. And I know a lot of people are probably saying, you're just telling me this now and I can't come. Well, no, it's not open to the public, but it's being conducted at the courthouse due to a directive from the National Cemetery Administration. They're not allowing public ceremonies right now because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But the decision to use the courthouse campus was made because it's also home, you may know this, to monuments that pay tribute to the veterans of World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and all veterans called upon to serve our nation. A really pretty monument out there. And additionally, our wounded and those killed in action are honored by a monument dedicated to the recipients of the Purple Heart. So prior to the ceremony, the monuments will be decorated with wreaths. So please make sure you drive by and see that. Our veterans organizations have contributed those, and then small American flags will be placed along the walkways in recognition of Remembrance Day. So there is a ceremony going on. Apologize, it's not open to the public. Hopefully they'll have somebody out there taking pictures or hopefully video so we can all enjoy it this Memorial Day weekend.
Definitely. And Colleen, you have something that city residents need to know, right?
I have many things, residents.
About the utility, maybe?
The utility?
Utility bills? Was it utility bills? Am I losing my, I think I'm losing my
Well,
mind.
May 31st is when the governor's order expires on the late fees and accumulated charges. So we are encouraging folks to pay your bill in full. We knew this was going to happen, that order would expire, and instructing utilities to go back to their normal operations. So today's the 21st, you have 10 days. Our customer service representatives are happy to help you. You can set up a payment arrangement over the phone. And we now have a super easy form on our website. Click on our COVID-19 emergency information right on the homepage, and there's a link there. And you can actually fill out your information that you want to do a payment plan. Click submit. It goes to our customer service representatives. They'll set it up for you. They'll call you and tell you what the terms of that payment plan are. You know, you can say, I need something a little different or whatever. They're happy to work with you. But again, so the governor's order on that expires May 31st. So 639-2750 is the phone number if you want to set up one of those payment plans over the phone. So 639-2750. What I thought you were talking about, Wendy, was if you follow us on social media, you know that this is National Public Works Week. And I, of course, love all of our city employees, but I got to say, Public Works, they are hustlers. Let me tell you what, they get so much done for this city. So we want to give them a shout out. I've been working with Matt Montaigne, the director of Public Works, and each day we've been spotlighting a different division of Public Works. So we started out by talking about the gentlemen who maintain our public buildings. You may not know this, but the city has about 100 buildings. And so they're doing the HVAC, the electrical, the plumbing, and they're like a staff of 6. They're doing general construction. And when we have highly technical modifications, they help me out with City 3 TV quite a bit. They're stringing cables under the floors, and they're just incredible guys. We also spotlighted, which is popular, especially with the weather going on right now, our stormwater folks who are out there making stormwater modifications. They're out there in all kinds of weather. They're working with FEMA right now on the money that we got to improve the stormwater ditches and drainage ways in New Bern. They're awesome. We've talked about, yesterday we talked about our solid waste guys, our leaf and limb folks. Today we're going to talk about streets, and I haven't made that post just yet, but not many people know that we have over 130 miles of streets in New Bern. And so they're out there maintaining the streets and making plans for resurfacing and all kinds of good stuff. So it's National Public Works Week. It started on Sunday, ends on Saturday. So if you see our Public Works guys, give them a shout or a beep beep, give them a fist bump, you know, in the air maybe, give them an elbow maybe.
Virtual hug.
That's right. So many thanks to our Public Works guys. And then one more thing, families will love this, especially kids. That means you, George. I'm working with Fire Rescue to put together a series of videos with their clown troupe. So this summer, the kids will have stuff to learn from and fire prevention messages to go along with it. So
wait, we have a clown troupe in the fire department?
we do in Newport Fire Rescue. Where have you been during parades?
I don't know. I'm envisioning the scene from the old Dumbo movie where they all the clowns dress up and Dumbo's got to jump in a thing of water. No.
And they've learned to, like, they took classes to learn how to do their own makeup and everything. They're so good at it. And they wear those big clunky clown shoes. And I told them they could borrow a pair of your shoes. They would fit the same, but.
Anytime. Hold on. It's, is it National Red Nose Day yet? It's coming up, isn't it?
It is. There you go.
Yep.
Everybody has a red nose around. Everybody.
Be careful, George. You're going to fall in the river.
You have to douse this in hand sanitizer, but anyone that wants to share, I've got.
Wendy!
There you go.
There you go. I got a red nose.
I got nothing.
Me neither, Todd. We're together.
Colleen, did you know that Todd, we were talking about blue crabs last week, George, and Todd caught some blue crabs. You were showing off on Facebook, making us jealous.
They were so tasty.
Oh,
I'm
bad.
going to have to friend you.
We caught him in the river, right behind you, George.
I caught him right here. Here.
Oh, right there, right here.
I caught him right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah, George. I caught him in my part. It was a little different than your part. My part's not sunny because it doesn't have, well, maybe it's the red nose. I don't know. It's something about the red nose.
Todd, that must be such punishment to work in that office every day with that view.
It's pretty hard for me. I'm dealing with it the best I possibly can.
What are we going to do with you?
Oh my gosh, we got a bunch of comments on social media. But
and by the way, Wendy, you just my perspective is if you can think you're losing your mind, you're probably not.
That is
there you go. Thank you. I needed that.
I don't know if that's true. I just made it up, but maybe it'll work for you. Give you some solace.
Thought I was going bats yesterday, and when I went to take my trash down to the driveway, there was a bat on the driveway. So I literally told Laura I was going bats, and half an hour or whatever later, there was a little bat. It was adorable. So
we have found out that we have bats living in our house, like in the eaves and stuff, and we found a bat guy. And North Carolina is.
Did you find a Batman?
Yeah.
Batman.
And he's going to come back in August because we have babies. And North Carolina is a no-kill state, and so he's going to wait till they leave and then seal it up. But you might have bats in your house, Wendy. Might check that out.
I needed to get in the attic, but I don't know where he came from. It was a little baby. So I called the biologist, and he said to put him in a tree. Somebody's getting punchy.
Oh, now that's got a little creativity to it.
Yeah.
Pretty.
This was from one of my birthday presents a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, nice.
There you go. Very nice.
You can have your red nose, and I'll have my bow.
So I guess you and I are ready to go put out a fire. Is that what this means?
Looks like, yeah. Ding, 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 ding. We're having entirely too much fun.
We also, I have one more plug I got to put in. Our podcast, improv podcast, Small Town News. We're continuing to put out 2 episodes a week. We're up to almost 600 downloads, which is kind of cool. We started about a month ago.
Yay!
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and Spotify and all those free places. So check it out if you get a minute. We just take newspaper articles from some small town somewhere in the country, one town each episode, and then we read them for the first time and then do fun little sketches based on that. So it's a good time. It's a nice diversion if you're stuck at home looking for something to listen to,
Cool.
which we all are.
That and your band Joy. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you for bringing joy to our lives, George. You really
Well, no,
do.
yeah.
So
We've all got to really focus on not the bad things going on right now, but what little bit of joy you can find, or silver linings, or whether it's even just spending more time with your family at home that you wouldn't ordinarily have. I mean, what a gift that is, right?
yes, it is. Definitely. Yeah. And I'll just look at the social media real quick. Anna's gone. Sorry, guys. Great book, Todd Burrier.
Nice.
Jane says, use your words. And Kathy says, invite the fire clowns to the pod squad. And
Yes.
Kathy and Susan, we miss you, and hopefully you'll be back next week. So anything else?
I think that's it. We've had a good time.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Thanks for having me, guys. Great to be a fill-in
Seen?
for you.
It's great seeing you.
It is. And
Absolutely.
please let us know,
Yeah.
anybody out there, please let us know if you have any comments, questions, or even suggestions for the podcast. You can call 252-259-6853, or you can send us an email at info@newbernnow.com. And then join us on May 28th from 1 to 2. We're going to be Zooming on New Bern Now's Facebook page, but the video and audio are also available on newbernnow.com, on YouTube, iTunes, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you're here local, you can also listen to the show on New Bern's news talk radio station, WNOS 103.9 FM, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning and 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So, is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
That's a
That's
wrap.
a wrap.
Hey.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye-bye.
Woo! Thanks, guys. Okay. End it. And there we go. End.